better. Okay, hello friends. So today we're going to have a sit down chat type of video. I think I would like to do more videos like that, generally talk about topics and subjects that interest me, that are close to my heart, and hopefully they will be interesting for you guys as well. And today is my first video like that, so I hope you enjoy it, and let's dive in. As you guys probably already understood by the title of this video, we're going to talk about why humans seem to be never satisfied. Okay, maybe this is just a little too drastic, but it's close to truth, I think. I think a lot of people are really not satisfied or happy with their lives, even when they have a lot of things in life. And so today I want to offer some of my insight from my experience of my friends and family and people that I had encounter with. It's something that has been on my mind for a while. I hope that maybe this video could help you understand yourself a little bit better. So let's get into some of the reasons. Okay, so I think the first thing that is a problem of generally this generation, well, our generation, and the time that we're living in now, is social media is a huge part of that problem. And it is that we tend to compare ourselves with others all the time. If you pass by on the street and you see a poor person, you see a homeless person, you will either feel sorry for that person, or maybe will, you know, feel grateful for a second that we have better situation in life than whoever the unfortunate soul is. But I don't think we're gonna fixate on it. I don't think we're gonna stick and think about it for a long time. It's just going to be like, you know, you passed, you thought about it, move on with your life. Now, when it comes to successful people, when it comes to people that live desirable and successful lives, we tend to fixate on them so much more. We tend to gravitate towards them, and of course we tend to want that. It is great to have a desire to strive to be better, to achieve more things in life. However, it can become a problem when we start fixating on it too much. And so what usually comes out of comparing yourself to more successful and to people who live better lives? Oftentimes, unlike with the unfortunate person, we would feel that we're lacking something in life. We have to work harder to get to live or experience that life, or we'll just simply feel bad about ourselves that, you know, maybe we've tried for so many times and so many years and still haven't been able to achieve that desirable lifestyle. We also create timelines for ourselves. We think that by that time, you know, by that age, I should have this and that because all people around me have that, or a lot of my friends, or just generally you look on the internet for all these successful people who constantly tell you how to make money quick, how to make money online, how to do this and that. And we, even if we don't necessarily want it, I think our subconscious still absorbs all that information, and somewhere there it tells us that, yeah, maybe this is important, maybe this is what your life is supposed to be. As we focus too much on the idea, who can we be, who can we become, we really miss the simple things that are happening in the moment. We miss out on simple joys and pleasures that are constantly happening in our lives. Those are maybe things we don't even notice. Those are the things that remind us that we are alive, we are present, we are here. And really, you probably heard people say that simple things that could just bring you the most pleasure in life. Okay, so I would like to share with you a part of my little story and what also kind of led me to really think about this topic. When I moved to Northern Ireland with my family, I was 16 years old. I started college there, so I didn't really have to work or worry too much about finances, food. I mean, my parents were supporting me. I generally had pretty careless and fun life. In college, I studied things like art and design. That is something I greatly enjoy, and most of these classes were not strict. They were a lot of fun. I also fell in love for the first time, and it was just great time. Really, it was a lot of cool experiences, a lot of new feelings, emotions. However, at that time I didn't really see it that way. I used to complain to my mom, oh my god, I am going to spend the best years of my life in this godforsaken small tiny town that was 30,000 population, and to me it was boring, unexciting. I also didn't have a lot of friends that shared similar interests to me. A lot of people that I was surrounded with were mostly immigrants and mostly people who came there to work. They were also slightly older than I was, and we didn't share much in common, you know, starting from music, hobbies, culture, interests, and etc. I really focused on all the negatives and didn't really have the appreciation for how actually great my life was still there. And so, of course, when we moved to New York, it was completely opposite. It was 180. You can't call that life boring. It's crazy, it's stressful, it's full of opportunities and a bunch of different people. I didn't really feel like a foreigner or an immigrant there anymore. That also expanded my opportunities for creating friendships and relationships, etc. However, however, never happy upon arrival to New York. Of course, first time it was just a shock, and you take a little time to acclimate. But even after a few years, I started to realize that it's not the life that I want. I started to realize that, oh, my life in Ireland was so much nicer. It was calm, it was peaceful, it was worry-free, it was just beautiful in so many ways that I didn't appreciate back then. And now I'm in this big city where a lot of people dream to be, and yet I don't feel happy. And all I do in my free time is look at my old pictures and just think about how I want to relive that life that I had back then, and how my current life is just so bland and not exciting, as weird as it might sound. It's full of events, it's full of people, it's full of things, but doesn't bring me pleasure, it doesn't bring me that happiness. So even when I lived in Ireland, even though I focused on the negative things, only when I moved out I really understood that I was so much happier with my life. I spent multiple hours going through old pictures and old memories. I really felt prey to nostalgia, and I realized that I became so stuck in my past that I was not living the moment. I was not living the life I had. I wasn't appreciating as much the people around me. I wasn't appreciating as much my environment. I tried all the time, but after a while I would come back again to this idea of, oh, but life was just so much nicer back there, or back then. So of course a lot of people would tell me that you should live in the moment, you should look towards your future, create goals, and I really focused on my future, on opportunities, on possibilities, have the life that I wanted. I think pretty soon I realized that I did not want to live in New York City, and I really wanted to get out. I wanted to go out, either upstate or maybe change the state altogether. I knew that I wanted to live in a smaller city or town and just have much simpler life. That didn't happen really soon. I still stayed 10 years there, and I was always exposed to the ideas of career, pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals, really working hard. And I think for me, it became a subconscious desire that I wanted to be someone. I wanted to make enough money. I wanted to live in a nice house. I wanted to have a business. I wanted to have a degree. I wanted to have really everything. Again, it's fine. It was also the society that was pushing that and imposing that on me, and I soaked that up like a sponge. And a lot of people do without really realizing it. Society definitely had a huge impact on the way I was thinking and the way I kind of shifted my whole perspective and life view. As I went from longing to relive the life and not ever get back, to this kind of drive for the future, for the opportunities, for status, I still wasn't enjoying my life. Everything seemed pale and bland. You would think that's kind of crazy because you live in such vibrant and colorful and crazy, fast-paced environment. You can't really get bored, but yet it didn't feel right for me. But then I finally made a step and I moved out of New York City. So currently I am in the north of France, as you guys know, and it's a very quiet place. It's very different and opposite from what I've experienced in New York City. And I keep catching myself the thought that, what am I gonna do here? This is great, this is nice, this is a beautiful place to enjoy, to relax, to de-stress. But then question things again. You start looking for some things that are wrong. Like, I don't have any friends here, I don't have a job here, and it's not the same amount or level of opportunities that you would get in a huge city like New York, for example. And I realized that all these ideas, ambition, drive, desire for career, they all were ingrained in me during the time I lived in New York. And now I have to fight myself to not crave that, because at the root of it, I knew it wasn't good for me. At the root of it, I knew that's not what I wanted. However, it had such great impact on me that even when I got what I wanted after so many years, I still find something not to be happy about. I still find something and somehow miss the life that I hated. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's a human paradox, I think. And of course, not everyone is like me, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't think too much about it. Some people who love their career lives, who are addicted to this stressful and money-making environment, and they love it and they thrive in it. And they're different people, and obviously I'm speaking from my personal experience. I'm speaking, you know, to people who maybe can relate to constant feeling of not being satisfied with whatever it is. You change the environment, you change country, you change your life, and yet you still find yourself something to complain about. It's like crazy. Is there anything that's ever going to be enough? I can't help it but ask myself all the time. Okay, so I think we kind of concluded that oftentimes that when we get things that we wanted or dreamt about, we tend to be not as happy, not as satisfied as we initially thought. So why is that? Is it because what we actually want is not what society expects of us? Or maybe as humans we just always need to change, something to look forward to? Maybe it's because we don't know ourselves too well. Sometimes people take lifetimes on figuring out what they want to do. Sometimes They waste their lifetimes seeking and looking for those things. So, as a French philosopher, Albert Camus, said, and I quote, "You will never live if you're looking for the meaning of life." I think he's onto something. One of the human problems is that we've always looked for meaning and significance in life. We all want to know or feel like we are important, we're significant. We have a reason that we exist. By any means, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's great to look at world this way, but what happens in the process is that we get so consumed by these ideas of finding happiness, finding love, finding better job, finding better life, that we really miss the life we are actually living. So it's almost like the more we have, the more we still want, and potentially less happier we feel. Is that because we are not capable to enjoy life at the present moment? I think that when we are so distracted by either our future or our past, we really miss the present moment. We really miss now. And that could be, for many, a key to enjoy life more, is to really focus on what you have now and take that in, really. So this is not to say that having a long-term goals is bad. I think it is necessary, but what I'm trying to say is that society pushes us more towards things that are socially acceptable. It pushes us to want things that maybe we not would have wanted otherwise. How often do you hear people say, "Oh, if I had the looks of this person, or if I had the money of that guy, or if I had that particular job, my life would have been so much better." And oftentimes when people get there, their life doesn't necessarily get better. And obviously the problem stems from ourselves. It's not the problem of if you have more things, you'll be happier. I mean, I think money doesn't bring you happiness, etc. Money brings you a lot of things, a lot of opportunities, and we all want that. And it's also because there's always going to be someone who is living a better life, more luxurious life than you, someone who's doing more things than you, someone who is more talented than you, and just so much more. So what I personally learned for myself from this experience is, one, we are absolutely a product of our society and the environment. Two, we oftentimes, because of that, compare ourselves to people, to influencers, to celebrities, to a bunch of people that are better than us. Three, we oftentimes just live either in the past or in the future. We create timelines that if we don't meet, we tend to feel bad about ourselves, we tend to feel like failures, and oftentimes we just live from one event to another. I now really think about is that future is, of course, obviously unknown. And we can be either really surprised with our future or really disappointed. There's been a lot of changes, there's been a lot of surprises in my life that I would have never planned for, I would have never foreseen. And I think if you ask many people to look back 5-10 years on their lives, they would probably tell you that they never thought they're going to be in this situation or in this position, good or bad. Why focusing so much on something that is unknown? Something that probably still won't go exactly as you plan. Of course, we need something to look forward to. But what I'm saying is not putting too much on that, not building your life only off of what you can have in the future. Really take a step back. Just like any genius thing in life, I think the answer is much simpler than we would think. So if you ask yourself, how do I live in the moment? How do I shift my mindset? How do I feel better about myself? How do I start comparing myself to other people? I don't know if I have the right answer for you. I think what is helping me and would help a lot of people is, one, of course, minimize as much as possible all these things that make you feel that way in the first place. Take a step back. Try to find things that make you happy or bring you joy in your day-to-day simple life. Find pleasure in small little things. Sometimes you just go outside and the weather is beautiful and the sun is hitting your face. I don't know about you, but if especially it's a morning and I have a cup of coffee with me, I feel like that's all I need in life. I feel like life is beautiful. The simplest things could really bring us the greatest joy. Maybe introduce some change in your life. Maybe it's a small, tiny change, but it would give your daily life a little bit more variety. Make choices that will allow you to experience more things, that will allow you to experience life to its fullest potential. Don't dwell on your past because it's gone and it's never coming back. Don't build your life only on the dreams and ideas that you will be happier when you have A, B, or C, that you will be a better person when you have this and that, because for the most part, it's not going to happen. It's actually so scary that we completely ignore sometimes most precious things. Oftentimes, when you look back into things, they seem nicer almost. They seem better. We tend to, for some reason, romanticize the past and think that things were still better. Even if they were shitty, it still feels like they were, for some reason, better than they are today. I think it also tells us that a lot of us have this inability to live in the moment, to live in the present, and focus on what is important now, on what is it that makes your life special today, now. What can you do to make it a little bit more special? And I'm sure that everyone has something. Everyone can do something. Be grateful. Appreciate everything you have, because there's always someone who's living a worse life. There's always someone, of course, who's living a better life. But there are people who would dream about the life you have. It's really everything about perspective. Really, all we have is now. All we have and currently possess and have control over is now, the moment. The current moment. Not the future, not the past. We can take control of things right now. I don't even know who's actually going to watch this video besides my friends and family. Maybe not many people will, and that's okay, because just doing this brings me certain satisfaction. I find joy in creating things, sharing my thoughts, bringing and giving something out to the world. It brings me a sense of accomplishment, and I think having hobbies always helped me. It really saved me in many situations. One of the greatest things that brings human satisfaction is creating something, expressing themselves through anything, any sorts of media. If it could be art, it could be writing, it could be music, it could be, you know, fixing something, it could be just making something with your hands, or just sharing your thoughts in one way or another, making a video, whatever it is. I think most humans would feel great level of accomplishment and satisfaction. They would feel more meaning when they create something. And of course, enjoy the process. Even if it sounds cliche, maybe we forget about these simple things because we hear them so much, we somewhat ignore them. But I think the process is the life that we're living. It is our life. It's what our life is composed of, experiences that are created by the process, and this is the bulk of it. So let's try to enjoy it as much as possible, because tomorrow is unknown and yesterday has passed and it's never coming back. So let's try our best. I hope that this video helps you maybe in some way. I know that in this video I kind of wiggled and used word satisfaction with happiness kind of interchangeably. I understand that they're not the same things, but they definitely do kind of hand by hand with each other. There is a lot of correlation between them. So forgive me if I'm not too technical on the terms. There is, again, still a lot of relationship between them, and I would love to hear what you think. I would love to hear your experiences, your stories. I really, really love hearing people's stories. I think nothing inspires me more than real life story. So please, please, if you feel like it, share your stories, share your thoughts with me. On that note, I think I am done for today. I really hope that the thoughts and everything is not scattered in the video. This is the first time I'm doing a sit down and talking about a little complicated, a little philosophical topic. So I really hope that it wasn't too crazy and too all over the place. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Do something today that is a little different. Change up your regular routine and see how that works for you. So thanks again, and till the next time.